Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baka podcast.
Baka. It's amazing how every time you open your mouth, you prove you're an idiot.
Hello, everybody, to a mini-sode of Baka. Normally, we are an anime podcast. Every 2 weeks, we watch an anime. We talk about it like a book club. Every other week, we come together and do a mini-sode because you like to hear our voices? Question mark?
Sultry.
You're welcome. So today we're talking about anime that we either hated or we thought something was really wrong with it and we want to fix. To talk about that, let me introduce my co-host. First off, we have the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood to my Full Metal Alchemist. Jeremy, how you doing?
That's not fair.
What?
I'm really jealous.
You don't even know what yours is.
It doesn't matter what it is because it's going to be an insult. I'm just really upset right now.
Because you guys are the two that love Full Metal Alchemist. Pretty good. I've been playing Rogue Tech. Apparently, they developed an awesome mod for BattleTech, the tactical game. And Rogue Tech is really good. It's so good that I installed it. I started playing it. I hated it so much I rage quit and uninstalled it.
Selling me.
Then I thought about it the next day, installed it again, and I've been playing it ever since. Fantastic.
For our audio listeners, the YouTube might be just a little better because Troy's face was just wonderful.
You need something to do while we do these episodes. You're watching me too much. Let me introduce that other guy who keeps talking. He is the Dragon Ball Z Kai to my Dragon Ball Z.
See, I knew it.
It's Jason. What do you mean you knew it? What's wrong with that?
So is Kai worse than GT?
Kai is a redubbing and shortening of Z. Like they don't scream as long.
Yeah, at least he didn't call me Catboy.
It's also worse.
I've been doing all right. Just to let you know, next time we play HOTS, we'll see who gets heals.
Ooh.
If you're playing White Mane, I wouldn't get him anyway.
You son of a-
White Mane rocks.
Warframe still has me enamored. They are doing fantastic things with that game. So, but besides that, still delving into the new Delve Path of Exile. I don't have enough time to play both of them. I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
I feel for you. And my name is Troy, and I'm the other host here. And I play Call of Duty. No one wants to hear about that, so let's move on. Our mini-sode topic is from Jason. He wanted us to take anime that we have issue with and fix them. So, Jason, what's your first one?
Well, I don't think it's a secret on this show how much I do not like Kisniver.
Wasn't that bad?
It's been bugging me probably for months now.
At this point, we're just gonna put like T-shirts, Jason Hart, his Niver.
I swear, if I get that for Christmas, I'm gonna be so upset. Oh god. Anyways, I was thinking, how much more interesting would it have been if, it was kind of the way it was up until the point where they're like in the building still, but then they could never leave, and then they ended up getting like separated and trying to find their way out. And every time there were traps in the building, and like every time someone got caught by a trap, like let's say they had to like what?
So you're saying remove all that emotion stuff. Let's do Saw with these characters.
But shared pain.
Yes, let them all share it.
I'm not saying that's not interesting. I'm just not saying maybe not 12 episodes interesting.
No, like like the key is in one of these 3 holes, but if like one of them sticks into the wrong one, like a saw comes across, and like all of them feel the arm getting.
Oh,
Anyways,
God.
I think making it a horror anime probably would have saved the story of kidnapping, forced surgery, and then like
Let's go back to
rooms.
school.
So, like, if they did that, like, of what benefit is it to them? I mean, I know that from what I've heard about Saw, sometimes different players will force other players to do things so that they don't have to experience the pain, but they can still get that thing done. That doesn't work in this.
Right. This is all the experiment of a sick, like, scientist that wants to see how other people react to, like, virtually having their stuff, like, the pain. They're studying the other people, not the person that's actually having their limb removed, right?
So, like, what would be the impetus to get them moving forwards? Like, if they all know that we're going to suffer no matter who gets hurt.
No, it's to get out, right?
Get out?
Yeah, okay. It's the escape. They're trying to escape. So basically, it's like the escape room, but way worse. And they all share the same pain for the sick satisfaction and study of the scientist.
Oh, I could just see them going into catatonic shock. Like, nobody moves because they're all like, anything we do, we all suffer. I think
that could be that would be an episode, right? Like, they're all like terrified to do anything.
Certainly better than the emotional crap they were doing.
Okay,
you could still ship them.
Yeah, you could. Matching cast.
That would be outside of the anime, right?
I have a couple things to say. First off, it just sounds like you want to torture the characters.
Yeah, it does.
Second off, this is a more interesting anime. Third off, I don't think it's Kisniver anymore.
It is not.
It is not.
It is a new anime.
No one cares about their emotions anymore. All they care about is the fact that they can experience each other's pain.
All right.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm good.
Jerry, how about you? What's yours?
So I had a lot of trouble coming up with anime that I hated or didn't like, because I generally will stop watching them, and so then I don't remember them. But knowing that there's been several on this anime show that we do that I didn't have the option of stopping watching.
I feel like he's looking at me. Is he looking at me?
No, I'm solely looking at myself for this one because of Flip Flappers.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, because you picked Flip Flappers.
Yes, I have only myself to blame, and it just kept popping up in my mind as like, what would I have changed? What would I have fixed? And I think I would have stripped out the relationship, and I don't mean just between the two lead characters, the two girls. I also mean how the main character was tied to the other character who just turns out to be her mother. Like, rip that out and go with the surreal exploration that they were going through. They were going to such crazy places. Keep the craziness of the place, keep the danger, and let there be a development of them as characters experiencing this. Something akin to Madoka Magica. I think there's huge potential in the environments they were going through and what that could have done to them. And yet they were still like, Papika was so spunky. I really enjoyed the spunkiness of that character. And I would love to have seen that be maintained through this surreal, almost lethal and dangerous environment. That could have been really interesting.
I gotta say, it just sounds like you guys are like, hey, can we take emotions out of our animes? That'd be great.
Yes. Like, I don't want to strip all of them. I just want to strip the emotions that seem unfounded. Like they're derailing what would be interesting about this anime and trying to just soak up all of the light and all of the attention.
Because there'd be a lot of emotions in Saw Niver.
Saw Niver, I love it. Oh, that's great.
I still like the episode of Flip Flappers with the haunted house, though.
Oh, that was all right.
That's a part I look back fondly on.
I like the weird rabbit one. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the clock tower thing was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's actually only one anime I hate. I hate this anime with passion of 1,000 suns, and I don't mean to offend anyone. If this is like your favorite anime, I mean, we can't be friends, but
Don't
whatever.
backpedal now.
It's called Vampire Night. We'll never watch it on the show. I won't allow it on the show.
You know what my special years in pick will be?
Vampire Night. I gotta set this up, and I don't think these are spoilers because I only watched like the first.
It's not worth watching.
It is about to make peace between vampires and humans. This private academy has decided to let vampires go to school there, and they attend school at night, and then they go on to their side of the campus, and then the humans attend school at day, and then they go to their side of the campus. And to keep the peace, they have a club that monitors the vampires. So we have our first main character. She is a girl who's part of this club that is there to stop vampires from doing something bad. Our other main character is the head of the vampires. He's super powerful, apparently ancient. I don't know why he's in high school, whatever. And he's in love with the girl. The other main character is also in the anti-vampire club. He hates vampires, but he's also in love with the girl. And he might have been part vampire. I don't remember.
So we already have a love triangle.
So we have a love triangle.
Hey, that's a thing.
Every single episode, this girl gets attacked. And every single episode, this girl has to be saved. And every single episode, I'm like, why are you in the anti-vampire club? There's no reason for you to be here. You have no powers. And look, I believe in equal rights for everybody, so that's fine. But this is one of the few times I will complain about why does this character have no agency? She's only there to be an object of affection for the two males, and it is the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my life. So, to fix it, I would just make her a super OP powerful one-punch man who can destroy vampires with her eyes, because that would be 10 times more interesting than anything that happened in the anime. Sorry, I'm out.
That would be great.
Vampire Night.
So, for my next pick, you might see a theme, unfortunately, is Baka. I
forgot about that one.
I didn't necessarily hate that. Yeah, actually, I didn't really. I wasn't a big fan of that.
The first episode is still one of the best I've ever seen.
It's so funny. Why did you think it was funny? Anyways, one of the things that really bugged me is you had all these people with these really dumb superpowers, and nobody dies. So I think that would be
comedy.
Death can be funny. Have we learned nothing?
I think that would be the first. So the first thing I would change is that whole tournament art thing going on that only happened for like 3 episodes. That needs to go further, right? And also, like, it needs to be more Dead Man Wonderland-esque, where it matters in these fights and like characters die. Like, there's got to be some weight to this, right? And then in the background, in between these tournaments, they're like working together to try and get out. Like, I think that would have fixed Baka for me.
I also hated Full House because like no one died of diseases ever.
There's a Full House anime?
It's a comedy. What are you doing?
I didn't laugh, so I didn't think it was a comedy. I understand it was intentions was comedy.
It had moments that were funny, like when during the tournament arc they were using like the giant hammers to make that food, right? It had moments.
I will say that I don't think the jokes in Baka had a long-term resonance and stuff, especially like in the second half. It was bad. But when it starts, the first couple episodes, I laughed nonstop through the first couple episodes. That's me. But we've had this fight.
We have.
Like imagine like the floor opens up and there's like those the alligators, right?
Alligators, yeah.
Yeah, imagine if like the guy that had like the half bandage on his eye, like his leg got caught by
he
one
is a
of them.
precious soul.
And they ripped off his leg and they barely save him out of there, right?
Animals love him when he touches them though, so
yeah, that's true.
So it would rip his leg off and then love him.
No, he would ride it out of there.
Anyways, I think there needs to be more. But yeah, it's a comedy.
More death.
Again, you're right about the theme.
You remember the scene?
You're telling me I'm watching too much Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you make a point.
All right, Jeremy, what's your next one?
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
That was a beautiful gem, the way it was. How dare you?
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid
No, I'm
had
just kidding.
so many like plot holes and character behavior issues and logic loops
So
and like
comedy.
behavior. Oh, like the father showing up as like this amazing, super powerful dragon that is so controlling and has this reputation and has this history and just he's convinced by a casual word tossed out by Miss Kobayashi about how, but this is what she wants. Doesn't that convince you that she should be able to do that?
Your arguments against Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid are well documented in our episode where we reviewed.
Well, maybe they didn't. Maybe they
So
didn't
how would
do
you
that.
fix it?
The way
Yeah,
I would fix it is I would make the father and actually the
literally one
whole
episode.
the whole dragon, make them actually hunting down these people, and I don't mean to kill them, but I mean.
Oh, so glad we're not in charge of anime. Somebody died.
This episode's got off the rails. Oh, good.
You keep killing all the your guys is wanting to fix the enemies. Like, look, if we just kill 75% of the characters. So,
Okay, they
anime.
don't have to die, but they can still be hunted.
They get captured, right?
Right. Well, no, but like,
It's like-
try.
Like
Like-
King Kong wise, like, right?
Like, try to capture them, try to take them back, try to like impose some kind of consequence for these people rebelling against the dragons or posing a threat or something. Like, I can't buy into the environmental storytelling, so you got to fix the environmental storytelling so I can buy in and be like,
murdering characters.
Comedies don't work if there's consequences for your actions. That's why we watch sitcoms, because we know no matter how jerky they are, they get to go back to their apartment and do it again tomorrow.
but sitcoms don't have fake stakes, right? Like, at least
What
not the
is
ones that I'm
Seinfeld?
aware of. Like Seinfeld, it has no real big stakes. Like, there's no omnipotent dragon that's on the trying to hunt down Jerry or exiled.
But there's a cop that might arrest them.
Oh, he basically
cop-
lives in the apartment. Wait, no, I'm thinking of the postman. I was thinking of him as a cop. But, like, Even so, like, there's nothing at stake. There's no real consequence in comedies today. And yet, in this anime comedy, there's this hyper serious background where you're like, oh yeah, she was nearly killed and this person showed up when she was nearly dead, and that's the reason why they have a relationship and everything. There's so much like, can't you empathize with these characters because of these deep interactions and all the things that's going on, and then at the same time, ha 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 ha, look how silly everybody is, bounce the boobies. And it's like, just have the silly or just have the serious. And so I think if they switched it and went into the more serious aspect, it would be interesting. Or if they were just silly, it could be just fun.
I think I can buy into the be more silly. I think because I don't care about the dad part. Like, I literally didn't even remember that till you brought it up. I remember the bouncy funny.
But like, yeah, like there's ways where they could actually make it more silly, where everybody's kind of an imbecile. You know, all of the dragons that even exiled them and things like that. They're all imbeciles in their own way. I don't know. That one, I had trouble coming up with any others. Kisniver was on my list, but I knew Jason was going to pick that.
Okay, so my last one is Naruto.
Really?
I feel like if we killed 75% of the characters,
Yes. And every 100% in Boruto.
to be honest, there's one major change I would make, because I think Naruto does a lot of things right, and there's some things it does wrong. It has its flaws, but the biggest thing I would change is remove Sasuke completely from the story.
Whoa,
Really?
that's huge.
Why?
I don't think he adds anything to Naruto. I think Naruto's journey gets sidetracked by Sasuke a little too much. I think the character arc of a boy who goes from an outcast to the leader of the village is a really good one and didn't need a rival character. And I happen to know for a fact that the writer didn't include Sasuke in the original story. It was the publishing company that told him he had to add Sasuke because they needed a rival character.
Huh.
I don't think Sasuke has ever fit well into the story. I don't really care about his story. Mm-hmm. And the only other thing I would fix is that Fourth World War, just condense it and don't actually revive every single dead character ever heard of. There's certain key ones, Naruto's dad, Madara Uchiha, that really impact the story, but we didn't need to show every single ninja, every single character have a moment, whether they were dead or alive. They all got to have one more moment. And I get it's your finale and you want to go out with everyone gets to do all the things. It's like, no, focus on telling Naruto's story. And maybe as he runs by, hey, look, that character we saw is doing something cool, but onward.
Was there a third world war in the Naruto?
No,
or was that prologue stuff?
Yeah, prologue stuff. But the Sasuke, I think, is the one thing that fixes 90% of Naruto.
I did have one quick call out for one that I'd want to fix.
Okay.
Comic artist, he goes to jail.
A jail full of women.
No, he gets prosecuted and sued for sexual harassment and assault, and then he is locked up for a long time.
I think you're both right, and I think that's the sequel.
He's still doing his manga, and the girls are still coming in for like conjugal drawing visits.
There's a clerical error because of his name. They think he's a female, and they send him to an all-women prison.
Yes,
and where he gets beaten every day for his
panty jokes. Absolutely.
And
you fixed it, Jason.
Yeah, perfect.
You did. It's awesome. I'd watch season 2 now. I would watch it anyway.
Kirby, do you have a shout out one?
No, that was good for me.
I have one that could possibly get me in trouble.
I can't wait to hear this. You can't leave us hanging now.
Okay. This is actually an anime I think is really good, but there is something I think could be fixed in it. That's Yuri on Ice. When I told my teenage daughters this one, they almost killed me. So let me be very clear. Completely fine with the two main characters' relationship in it. That's fine. But that is also what I want to fix. And let me explain. Victor is Yuri's hero and later becomes his coach. And yet he's very aggressive physically towards Yuri. And I find it uncomfortable with the power dynamic and how that relationship starts. And later we find out some more info of the backstory of Yuri kind of started things. But for the first couple episodes, I felt very uncomfortable. And I've always said, like, if Yuri was a female character and they went through the exact same story beats, I think other people would feel the same way. So to fix it, I would say I would like Yuri to be more confrontational and see them build mutual respect and become equals, and then friendship and love and all that stuff. Then I'd be fine with it. There's such a power dynamic when that relationship is starting that I get really uncomfortable. I feel bad for Yuri, and other than that intro is still one of my favorites, and the animation's great. I do like that anime, but I feel like that anime could be better in how it started that relationship. Okay.
I do have one more. I just remembered it. I can't believe I didn't think of it before. Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. No Bieber. Because Bieber derails the story.
Who's your villain? There's more zombies?
Yeah, the villain is like finding out where the zombies are coming from and what's causing the zombies, not being derailed by Bieber and his uber crazy powerful.
I think every good zombie story needs a human antagonist because zombies are a nature of element, and you gotta.
If you do have a human element, because I mean that's not always the case. I mean, like I'm trying to remember if it's Blue Gender. Yeah, that's true. Blue Gender or Blue Seed. I can't remember which one for sure it is, but like where bugs take over the planet and humans are fighting off bugs. Yeah. And in that, there's no human.
Yes, there is. In the second. Or don't they have to blow up like an entire space station full of bad guys? At the end, they have a big space battle.
In Blue Gender?
Yeah.
I remember them fighting bugs, always bugs.
While they were on the planet, and then they went into space, and then you find out like the government's doing this evil thing, and they have to have like this rebellion.
I don't remember that. I'm gonna have to look it up. But anyways, I think that the zombies could actually be, at least I would want to find out what was causing the change in some of the zombies being able to retain their knowledge of swordplay and things like that. It's kind of like how in
if there was a smart zombie or like a zombie leader, I'd be down with that.
I was thinking about like Resident Evil zombies, where sometimes in some of the later Resident Evil games they have those smart zombies, and I would be more interested in that. And even if there wasn't per se, I want to find out. Like, tell me more about these things. They're seeming more and more like people, and yet they're messed up. There's a huge amount of information to mine for there. I think it could have been really interesting.
All right,
Kill Bieber.
All right, guys, that'll be it for how we fix animes. If we offended your favorite anime, we didn't mean to. We just didn't like it.
Jason did.
Nah, I mean, we're pretty boisterous about our opinions, so that's fine.
Sure.
We are currently watching the anime Jason picked.
AICO.
AICO.
Incarnation
on Netflix. It's a really easy name to remember. So feel free to watch that along with us. We'll be talking about that next week. If you would like to comment on how you would fix an anime or how we are 100% wrong and anime was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Yuri on Ice is almost perfect. I get that. You don't need to write that. My daughter's already told me. I know.
The comments are coming anyways.
You can send them to our Twitter at Baka Podcast or email the animebakaclub@gmail.com or leave a comment wherever you found this podcast episode. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you guys so much for listening. Let's say goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Sayonara.